Hi guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. I am finally going to start and do some more recipe videos. I am actually in the process of writing a recipe book, and I thought there is no better way to write up my recipes, perfect them, and get the recipe written out and also film it at the same time to people who might not necessarily want the written book. At this point, I don't know if it will ever be online. I'm not even entirely sure how to do that. It'll literally just be me buying a nice binder, printing them out, and giving them to like friends and family. Like, this is not going to be an official book, but I just thought, why not film them? To the people who want to see a video, why not? So today is going to be my pumpkin soup recipe. You can also turn this into a pasta sauce. I am debating whether or not I want to turn it into a pasta sauce or keep it a soup. I will figure that out later. But for the time being, I have my lovely big cast iron pan that my mother gave me. So thank you, Mum. Fun fact, that pan is older than me. It's on the heat and it is slowly heating up. If you hear a ticking noise, it's the stove because it's electric and it ticks. So, to start off with, you obviously need your pumpkin. This is a butternut squash, which is the one I very much prefer. You can use Kent pumpkin, but butternut squash is the best. I mean, look at this. This is just like the most beautiful butternut squash you've ever seen in your entire life. Obviously, I've already prepped it. My camera needed charging, so I prepped everything while my camera was charging. So this is like the absolute biggest piece of a butternut squash I could find. It was probably like 2/3 of a very large one. Like, this was a big piece. It took me forever to prep it. In here, I have 5 really nice fat cloves of garlic that I have top and tailed and peeled. I also have 1 very large generic orange carrot, and I also did grab 3 large stalks of celery. So I had the pack of the pre-cut celery, and I just had a couple of pieces that I was not going to use for anything else. So I am putting celery in this. Normally I don't, but I'm just putting it in here for some added vegetables. That's not really going to change the flavor, nor is it going to change the color or the texture. I just wanted that in there for some extra nutrition, just to use it up. And then finally, a large brown onion. Again, I have prepped it. This is going to be blended up. So honestly, it doesn't matter how you cut the pieces. However, I will say, the smaller the pieces you cut, the quicker they cook. And then to blend it all up, you do need some veggie stock. Normally, I actually use my own stock or homemade stock, whether my mum makes it or I make it. But unfortunately, I have used all of mine and this was in the cupboard, so this is what I am using today. This is the Coles brand real veggie stock. Unfortunately, this one is not salt reduced, but normally I do get a salt reduced stock. Everything I buy is always salt reduced. So unfortunately, this one isn't, which means I will just use a little bit less. I won't be using the whole thing. You also do need some seasonings, but I'm actually not going to do that while I'm boiling them. I prefer to put my seasonings in after these have been boiled and blended. That is just my personal preference. You can season it now with salt and pepper and whatever herbs you choose, but I like to put mine in once the soup has been blended. I just like that a lot more. Okay, so this pan is very nice and hot. I can feel it. It's not too hot though, so nothing's gonna burn. I am literally just gonna tip everything in. And I'm not going to use all the stock. I'm just going to tip in a little bit for now, probably half, if that, because I do want this to sort of cook on its own. But please keep in mind, as this boils, it will reduce a little bit of the liquid. So you'll just need to maybe top it up a little bit as you go. keep an eye on this. I want this to be really nice and thick, so that's why I'm not adding too much stock. But if you want this to be really runny and really thin, by all means add more stock. That is where soups are so customizable, because you can just make them thinner, you can make them thicker. If you want to make this sweeter as well, you can add a yellow capsicum, or you can even add some corn. I have made sweet corn and pumpkin soup before, and it was amazing. So I have turned the heat up a little bit higher, so this goes to 6. I have turned this up to about 4.5, and I'm just going to basically let this boil down for hours. If you want to, I currently have about 2 hours until I have to go to work for something very short, so I can actually let this boil pretty much until I go to work, turn it off and blend it up when I get home. But for the time being, I just need it to, like, at least minimum cook and soften. So at absolute minimum, you just need to make sure that this is cooked down enough that everything is actually cooked. You don't want to be blending up raw pumpkin. Burner that was hot, I've pulled it off the burner. I now have just over an hour before I have to duck to work. This is going to take much longer than this to cool down. So basically, because this doesn't have cream, it doesn't have anything in it that's really bad, I can put the lid on this and just leave it. I pretty much only have to go to work for like 2 hours. Not a very long time, not a whole thing, it's just to duck there for something quick. So therefore, this can just sit here and cool down. I can leave it on that burner, and as you can see, the pumpkin is soft, the carrots are soft and squishy, the onion's translucent, and some of the celery has like nearly disintegrated. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted this to be like this, essentially. Hello guys, and welcome back. I thought I was filming blending this up, and apparently I never pressed record. So you guys don't need to see me blending this up. I literally just put it into a blender, press pulse a few times, and voila. So it was enough soup, it made enough soup. I actually had to do like 2 jugfuls. So this is going to be a decent amount. It smells so good. I'm just heating it back up again so it can like reduce a little bit more. Now into this, I'm going to put a little sprinkling of some sage. This is powdered sage, as you can see. Normally I would use fresh sage, but my plant is extremely young and not very large. So I just have some powdered sage that I will use in like marinades and things like that. I am just going to sprinkle some in because I love the sweetness that sage gives, but I don't want too much. Next up, I'm going to just grate in some pepper. This is just a super basic Woolworths brand peppercorn grater. If you want to use powdered pepper, that would be better, but I unfortunately don't have any of the pepper that's like really powdery, so this will have to do. And last but not least, to blend everything together, a little bit of this Devondale cream. This is like a long life cream that you can leave in the cupboard, which I have done. This literally, I just pulled it straight out of the cupboard. I'm going to put a little bit of this in. Don't worry, the rest of this will go in the fridge and I will use it for something else tomorrow. But I will put a little bit of this in, or fresh cream, or sour cream, cream cheese. It really depends on what you have, and I just currently have this, so that is what I'm using. And there we go. I don't like my pumpkin soup to be too creamy, so this is 250 mils, so this is 1 cup. And I'd say I've used maybe a quarter. Between a quarter and a third is what I used from this, but don't worry, this will go in the fridge and I'll use it tomorrow. But I don't like my soup too creamy, so this color is exactly what I want. So pretty much what I'm just going to do is I just had this heating up slightly so that it could like reduce a little bit. So I'm just going to wait for it to heat up and pretty much just finish heating, take it off the heat, and then package this into containers. So that is my pumpkin soup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making this. You could also cook up some pasta, a big batch of like thick big piece pasta, so pinwheels, rigatoni, spirals, something like that, and put the cooked pasta in through this and bake it in the oven, sprinkle with some mozzarella. You could also do that. My pumpkin soup can turn into a pumpkin pasta sauce very quickly, but I have tasted this and this is pretty much completely perfect for what I love in a pumpkin soup. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.